Welcome to At the Obelisk. Here's what's been going on in the church recently. Pope Francis will visit Colombia September 6th to 11th. The Vatican made the announcement March 10th. Now, the itinerary has not been released yet, but we do know that the Pope will visit Bogota, Villavicencio, Medellin, and Cartagena. So that should be a very interesting itinerary. Now, speaking of papal trips, the Vatican also confirmed that the possibility of a papal trip to Egypt is currently being studied. But the key word is studied. No dates or schedules have been decided yet. Now, Pope Francis gave another interview, this time to a German weekly newspaper. And in that interview, he was asked, among other things, he was asked about Cardinal Burke and about the shortage of priests globally. So he said that he does not view Cardinal Burke as an adversary, and his move to send Cardinal Burke to Guam recently to look into abuse allegations there was because Cardinal Burke is, quote, an excellent jurist, and the situation in that country was quite difficult. For those of you who are not aware, there were several allegations of abuse that surfaced last year against the Archbishop of Guam. It got to a point where the Vatican realized the Archbishop should step aside, but the Archbishop himself did not feel that was necessary. Eventually, an apostolic administrator was appointed, and that's why Cardinal Burke was there to look at that situation. Now, on the topic of the shortage of priests, Pope Francis said that the problem there is actually due to a lack of vocations, which is due to poor outreach to young people. So obviously, improve your outreach to young people, improve vocations. And when asked about the possibility of ordaining married men who are considered viri probati, or married men of proven virtue, Pope Francis said that issue, along with many others, is one that needs to be studied in depth. There was another shocker related to the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors, and I feel like we'll be talking about this one for a while. So Marie Collins, an abuse survivor who sat on the commission, resigned, saying that she has had enough of the resistance and clericalism within the Vatican. According to her statement, her resignation statement, and to interviews she's given, she said there were really two key moments that were the last straw for her. So the Child Protection Commission had recommended that a tribunal be set up to deal with bishops who are negligent in handling sex abuse cases. The commission also made a small, fairly commonplace recommendation to the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith that when they receive letters from victims who want to know what's happening with their case, that the CDF send a letter back simply acknowledging that they have received the case, nothing more than that. And both of those things were refused, rejected. According to Cardinal Mueller, who heads the CDF, he felt that it was not his congregation's place to engage in pastoral care of victims. He said that should be left to local bishops. And regarding the tribunal to deal with negligent bishops, he said, after much study, it was decided that the Congregation for Bishops already has that power. But for Marie Collins, this was the end. It didn't help that in both of those cases, she says, nobody ever got back to the commission to let them know why their recommendations had been rejected. In any case, her departure is seen as something that could shake the tree, so to speak, and hopefully move things forward. Although, given that Collins and Cardinal Mueller have two different understandings of what's going on between these two organizations, these two offices, we're probably going to hear more about this moving forward. That's all for now. Stay tuned until next time.